What's up, everybody? It's Christmas time. It's holiday time. Right here, live on the Tony Cutillo Show. Make sure you listen, like, subscribe. You know the deal, right? Whatever you want to talk about tonight, we're talking about JT's contract chaos. Eagles own the East back to back again. And what about Tony's top three? Where we'll talk a little bit about some Bo Jackson video game legacy, some Pro Bowl conversation, also some Duval, and we're talking right now. Well, actually, we're gonna talk about that later, but right now we got a lot to talk about. Whether it be in Philadelphia, whether it be national radio. First of all, let me just start out by saying that mad respect to everybody out there. I feel like every time I go on to one of the social media channels, honestly, like all I see, again, like all I see is people losing their jobs in the radio world. Um, and I'm gonna be honest, man, it stinks. I hate seeing it. I do. And you know what? It just continues to get worse. It continues to get worse. So may have respect out there to everybody that is been told either laid off, been let go, playing the political game, meaning they're being professional about it. I don't know if I would be able to, because I think some of them they were let go for other reasons, which kind of I'm reading into it. It kind of sucks, but and lo and behold, I respect all of them because I see what they're doing, right? I see what they're doing. So they're starting their own stuff, they're starting their own channels, and I think it's pretty cool, man. I do. So shout out to them. Adam checking in. What's up, Adam? NFC champions. Let's go, Birds. My man Food checking in. Says, hey, Tony, Merry Christmas. Yeah, holidays to hey, Food. Want to tell you, man, like straight up, you are like I feel like we're sharing guests, which is pretty cool. I know that I got Angela, you reached out, got Angela on the show for you and Mama Ringo. Well, Mama Ringo is going to be on the Fighting for Overtime podcast to talk about youth sports and talk about growing up with Keely as an athlete, Division I athlete, what it's like to be a mom. So I was just talking to her the other day. So after the holidays, we're gonna lock something out. She's gonna get on the podcast, which is great. So Foods, I appreciate that because I know that's your your tag team partner over there, brother. So I appreciate that for sure. But let's get right in to the Birds, man. Like, go Birds, right? I mean, look, this is obviously the Tony Cutillo Show. I am Tony Cutillo right here. Follow at Tony Cutillo Show, all social formats. And as always, brought to you by BetQL, our both friends over at Tails Odd Shopper, Better Picks, Sleeper, and Underdog, man. And Underdog. And we got a bet going on right now that we're going to be eyeing on the plus money prop train, which is Josh Downs 4 catches for plus money, man. Put that in earlier, so hopefully the plus money prop train continues to ride tonight. But let's talk about those Birds, right? Let's talk about those Birds, okay? Because guess what? We're back-to-back champions, right? We're back-to-back champions. And it's been a while, right? It's a joke. It has been a while. Like, legitimately, first time since 2004 that we've been back-to-back NFC East champions. All the adversity we faced, everything going on. It's still not a perfect product. A lot of things that have resurfaced, I would say, unfortunately, when we talk about the kicking game with Jake Elliott. But we'll talk about that because I don't think it's as big of a deal as people are making it out to be. I want to talk about a couple things during that game that I think are a little overblown. I think are a little ridiculous. Number one, let's get right into. I know if everybody has seen it yet. That is the footage of Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. Jalen's talking to the O-line. Saquon comes over. It looks like Jalen kind of pushes them away and stops the noise. Looked like Saquon was a little frustrated. No matter what, I don't care. Everybody wants to make a big deal out of everything. And I don't know if the people that are making the big deal out of it, if they've ever played youth sports, high school sports, professional sports, collegiate sports. I mean, have they played anything? Because I keep saying this over and over again. They don't even know what the right situation is. They're not even sure about it. And I keep talking like they just need to keep their mouths shut. Okay, because things happen on the sideline. They happen with the coaches. They happen with the coordinators. They happen to everybody. Okay, they happen to everybody. There's a fire. There's an adrenaline rush. There's a lot of competition in everybody's eyes out there, man. Like, you got to let this shit go. Everybody's just looking and they're trying to feed in to shit that ain't even there. They're trying to feed into shit that ain't even there. Okay. So I'm going to let that go. You know what that's going to be to me? That's Jalen being a leader. At the end of the day, it's Jalen being a leader. Everybody wants Jalen to be a leader. Well, let him be a friggin' leader. And that's what he was doing. He was running shop right there with the O-line, right? And obviously Saquon seemed like he was heated a little bit. Okay. And I'm ad-libbing here. And he was like, yo, I got this, man. We'll talk about that later. He was leaders, right? Leader. Now, here's the thing. Let's spin this in a positive way for a second. Now we'll get to these comments in a second. Let's spin this in a positive way. How about we say, hey, good job, Saquon, for not going right at dude's throat. Like, yo, who are you going to tell me to come back later? I'm Saquon Barkley. No, he didn't. Saquon was professional. He walked away. And that's my point. Like, nobody wants to look at that. That right away, everybody wants to turn it into a negative. So I like it. I like the fire. I like it, man. I like it. I'm excited. I am. And let me touch on this before I get to the comments. I want to touch on the end of the game stuff. I want to give you my opinion. on the going for two. And I said this all along, and I'm going to continue to say it. I have no problem with it whatsoever. Zero. At first, I thought, well, what's going on here, right? What is he doing? But then you saw what happened. Listen, they wound up scoring. You go up multiple scores now. You make it a lot harder. Actually, 3 scores, if I'm not mistaken, right? So you went up 3 scores. So because now you had to get a field goal to tie the game instead of a field goal to win. So I look at it and from the other end and say, this is an offense that we kept hearing week in and week out, that looking for an identity, looking for consistency, looking for execution. And you had 2 games now where they're finally looking like their old selves again, that they're looking like they're executing, where they're looking like they're finishing plays. So my opinion to that was Nick Sirianni maybe saying, look, I want to go, let's go out on a high note. They ran the ball. Did you notice that? Anybody talk about that? They didn't throw the ball in a 2-point, the 2-point conversion. They ran the ball. So because they ran the ball, that shows me Nick was like, yo, we gotta keep this going, keep the confidence going. Any opportunity, because remember, Tank Bigsby ran it in for a touchdown. So let's think about, again, you had 2 rushing touchdowns in there with Saquon and Bigsby, and then you let Saquon get the 2-point conversion. To me, the way I'm thinking is, I'm looking at the simple fact that Nick Sirianni was like, yo, let's keep the train rolling. Let's keep it rolling. It had nothing to do with blowing up a score. What, another point? Dan Quinn, you're right, Adam. He's a douchebag. Like, come on, dude. Seriously. At the end of the day, that's such a DB comment. Honestly, you didn't go out and throw an 80-yard bomb. You went for 2. You went 1 more point. Like, what are you talking about? Dan, you know what, Dan Quinn? Listen, I'll tell you, Dan, just please, just take the L. Just take the L and be done. Like, seriously, you had a horrible year. It wasn't your fault. Tons of injuries, tons of adversity. Right? It's probably gotten your mind a little bit. Then you're going to make that stupid comment about we're going to see him again, or we'll see next game. Like, stop it. Go home, Dan. You guys are done. Just go home. Like, it's over. You gotta start playing for next year. Like, leave it alone. Like, I just think that was so stupid. That was such a stupid comment. It really was. Let me get to these comments. What do you think about Philip Rivers coming back? Adam says, listen, I talked about it last week, Adam. I love Philip Rivers coming back. I love it. I love the story. I like Philip Rivers as a player. Look him as a person. And again, I think he's doing pretty well right now. So I do like him coming back, and I like him coming back for the right situation with the right coordinator at the right time. So I do. This is perfect. This could be a nice swan song for Philip Rivers. It really will be, which is pretty cool. Food says, Tony, is there any word on Nakobe Dean with the ankle or hamstring injury? I listen. It's funny. I don't know, Foods, if you follow Mrs. Deed on Instagram, man. She was straight was like, yeah, the Kobe's fine. Like 10 minutes after the injury, man. She must be like, yo, how's my baby boy? He's doing all right. He was like, I'm fine, mom, right? I'm fine. I hear he's fine. Listen, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised they hold him out for the next couple games, to be honest with you. Why not? Again, I know there's still just a big game coming up this week, but still, I do think you have adequate replacements for 1 week. So I'd be surprised if he does play, if it's anything that they're a little concerned about, to keep him fresh to see, because obviously they're going to need him. I mean, let's just talk about him for a second. Like how would you, how would you want to be Howie Roseman's shoes right now? Right? How would you, you know, want to be in Howie Roseman's shoes right now? You look at the Kobe Dean, a guy you drafted and has flourished right now. He's had some unfortunate injuries, but every time he's got the opportunity to play, he's flourished. He's really flourished right now in this system, with Vic Fangio. And now he becomes a free agent. And you drafted Jahad Campbell, and you have Jeremiah Trotter Jr. that you like that can't get no clock because everybody's playing so well. You signed Zach Bond, so it's like you can't sign everybody, right? And it sucks because you like the kid, he's homegrown, but I don't know what's going to happen. But I'll tell you what, man. One thing's for sure, the Kobe Dean is going to get paid. No matter where he goes, he's going to get paid. And shout out to that young man for fighting through some of them horrible injuries that just came at the worst times, and just showing, because there was a lot of questions to Kobe Dean. Remember, a lot of questions with the code, whether he's undersized, he's not skilled enough to learn his scheme. Man, he's been the best player on the field at times, man. So shout out to Kobe Dean for that, for sure. I love it. Adam says Jake Elliott will be fine. He was clutch in the playoffs of the Super Bowl. Yeah, listen, I like his attitude, Adam, to be honest with you. I was watching a lot of his press game, his post game interviews, and it was like, look, man, it'd be easier if it was something that was mental, but it's not. Right? He knows it's not mental, and it's just something that he's got to change a little bit. Right? And I have no doubt. Listen, if he was missing him, like yanking him, the ball looked like it was like like a knuckleball going out there. He wasn't hitting it. He wasn't getting any power behind it. Except for he's just off. Right? And that's something that these guys, listen, they just got to kick. Right? And one good thing about kickers, they can practice whenever they want, wherever they want. Right? Into the net. Boom. It's like back in the day when we coach softball, when you have soft toss into the bow net. It's the same thing. Same thing as a kicker. So I have no issue putting my confidence in Jake Elliott. I don't. I think he'll be fine. Dan, yeah, we know. We already said that. Food says ground and pound the ball going into January. Exactly. So someone's going to go on offense in the offseason. Too many defensive players to re-up in the next few years. And that's a good problem to have, right, Foods? And that's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, this sucks. It's a good problem to have. We've been in a situation where we're out there trying to get those people. Now we have them. So definitely going to be some moves to make. I mean, listen, we talked about this already. You have the Dallas Goedert situation coming up. You already know, he's going to be up for a new deal. What do you do with him, right? We talked about the Kobe Dean. And then, listen, you're going to have to start really looking at Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, right? You're going to have to look at these two cats, and they're going to have to get paid. And they're going to get paid handsomely, right? So, Jalen Carter, right? What do you do, Jordan Davis? So here's the thing. I don't even want to get into a show where we talk about free agency, because you know what? I want to ride this wave, man. I want to ride this wave because I don't care what anybody says. I don't know about you guys, but I don't care what anybody says. I am not afraid. I am not afraid of anybody right now. I'm really not. I am not afraid of anybody. I thought I was afraid of the Rams. They've shown on the defensive side that they can be overmatched. So I'm definitely not afraid of them now. That was the one team where I was like, you know what? The Rams, the Rams, the Rams. I'm not afraid, man. I'm not afraid. So, you look at the NFC, it's ours, man. It's as if we can play the way we know how to play, right? And we put it all together at the right time. The NFC is ours, so one step at a time, obviously. But I'm curious to see what this game looks like at Buffalo, because Buffalo has shown a tendency to start out slow out of the gate, like we have, and all of a sudden they put it together. Josh Allen is an absolute beast. I think we all know, but man, have I learned to really despise uh Sean McDermott. It's a shame. I used to be a McDermott guy. I liked how he grew through the system. I like what he did out there in Buffalo. But this whole tush push, stuff that he was talking about, and then he's such a hypocrite by using it himself. And now all of a sudden he doesn't want to answer questions about it or gets cute about it. It's ridiculous. It's old, man. It's old. So I want them to just punch him in the mouth on Sunday. I really do. I want to watch them punch Buffalo in the mouth and shut everybody up, right? And shut everybody up, because Buffalo can be run on, Buffalo can be passed on, and they actually, obviously, listen, Josh Allen is their guy. And, one guy that I do think that we have to look at, right, is I think the biggest problem, there's going to be two problems. It's going to be Dalton Kincaid, and it's going to be Khalil Shakir, right? It is. It's going to be those two guys, because they're the guys, okay? They're the guys that are going to give matchup issues to the Philadelphia Eagles, right? They're the guys that are going to give matchup problems to the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, that's simple. And they're the ones that scare me. Now, Food says, who do I like in the AFC? Man, I'll tell you, and we're going to get into it with the top three in a minute. Well, more than a minute, but in a little bit. But I'll tell you, Denver, until they just got smacked by Jacksonville. But I still think, at the end of the day that defense wins out. So I do think that their defense can overmatch a lot of teams. But the question is going to be with Denver is Bo Nix a blue chip player? Meaning playoff caliber, AFC championship, getting a Super Bowl type of player. Is he there yet? Right? Is he there yet? And I think that's what you have to ask the question. I will be honest that after watching the New England Patriots again, full game, and I don't care what's going on with Baltimore. I don't care how much of a dumpster fire they are. It's still the Baltimore Ravens. It's still the Baltimore Ravens. It's still a damn good football team. And it's still, no matter what's going on this year. Listen, John Harbaugh has deserved, right? He deserves to get a pass, in my opinion. He deserves to get a pass. And what they did yesterday just showed the league and put it on notice that when you have good coaches, when you have good culture, when you have good philosophy, guess what? You win. And you win a lot. And you win convincingly. And those players have all bought in out there in New England. And Drake May, wow. Drake May. I mean, it's funny. I remember somebody saying that this was before Drake May really turned it up a little bit. People were saying about this could be the next Tom Brady, right? Like, not as being Tom Brady, the actual Tom Brady, but the way that Tom Brady was come out of nowhere for New England after Drew Bledsoe and just, take them to history like we know. But just showing that here's a kid who's on the come up, and they've been looking for that next Tom Brady type player. And I'll tell you what, man, this kid is so driven. He's so driven, man. And everything he says from pregame to postgame and on the field, we talked about this. See, this is why you got to follow the Tony Cutillo show. Okay. And make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow the YouTube show specifically, but also make sure you follow me on TikTok. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, right? Follow me on Facebook. Wherever you're watching, get over to the Tony Cutillo show on YouTube. Okay. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'd much appreciate it. Okay. And you're right, Foods. This is why I'm saying this, and I want to bring this up. And we talk about Mike Vrabel. If anybody watched this in the preseason, and we were talking about, because again, do a lot of sports betting and fantasy talk as well. There's a QR code right there, free plays. You click on that QR code, you will go right to my Linktree account. The Linktree account has everything on there, but it also has the free picks page where all the picks are free. Okay, they're all free. And there's also deals there. And when I ran that and I talked about Drake May, I specifically talked about Mike Vrabel and what he did to revitalize Ryan Tannehill's career. Remember that? What he did to revitalize Ryan Tannehill's career. You remember that? Let's remember that. Okay? A lot of people forget about that. Ryan Tannehill out there in Tennessee. A lot of people forget about that. Right? So I will say that if for my money, Mike Vrabel is like the quarterback whisperer. But the reason why is he is a player's coach, but he's a player's coach with discipline. He's a player's coach, and I will not say this lightly, but when you are an NFL head coach and you have won rings in the trenches as an NFL player, you garner more respect than anybody that's an X's and O's analytics guy any day of the week. Those guys will only get you so far. But when you're a guy like Mike Vrabel, who was out there in the trenches, played for one of the best coaches in all of football history in Bill Belichick, and when you know he's played for the New England Patriots and understands the New England way, and then he's now coaching the New England Patriots, I'll tell you what, first guy on the field, first guy off the field, first guy propping everybody up. God damn, man. I told you before, I would take Mike Vrabel over anybody. You asked me if I could pick one head coach right now to place on my team. If I am a president, if I am an owner, if I am a GM, and I'm starting an NFL franchise, and somebody says to me, who we signing? We got to pick one coach. Put all those coaches into a hat, and I need one. Which one am I home for? And that's Mike Vrabel. I'm taking Mike Vrabel. So, yeah, I like to come out of the AFC. I do like the New England Patriots. And I'll tell you why. I think that, again, I look at the coach and the quarterback. And I think that there's not a better coach right now in the AFC than Mike Vrabel. And I don't think there's another quarterback that has the, I don't want to say prestige, but I'm going to use something that Jeffrey Lurie said, the emotional intelligence, right, that Drake May has. And so I'm in on the Patriots for the AFC. It would be so nice. Let's go. How nice would it be to have another Eagles-Patriots Super Bowl, right? How nice would that be? For real. My man JD checking in says, Bo Nix, love it, leading his team into the finals. He's a winner. Man, 183.3 to 183.1. King Henry is the man. Hey, JD, you know I like me some Bo Nix, right? So congrats, brother. Congrats, man. Seriously. I actually unfortunately got bounced. Yeah, I just got beat hard. The guy I had just had an ultimate week, and I battled injuries after injuries. And I listen, I'll tell you what, I lost half my team, but made it to the finals or the semifinals. So I'll take it. I mean, it is what it is. I didn't win any money, but in that league, it is what it is. It's okay. But I scrapped it together, man. So that's my Eagles talk for the night. Again, that is my Eagles talk. That's where I'm at with this team. I'm not worried about the kicker. I have all trust in Jalen Hurts. I'm not a Jalen Hurts hater. I just think that everything has to go a specific way, and the execution has to be there. And I'm just looking to see what happens at Buffalo. And you know, we're going to take this week by week because I think that's what we have to do with this team. Is we have to go week by week, right? We have to go week by week to see how this all plays out. Definitely. Now let's swing courses a little bit and let's talk a little Phillies. And then we're gonna get to the top three. And we're gonna get to Tony's top three, where I'm gonna talk some NFL. I got an NFL top three, or I got a topic in the top three for NFL, for video games, and for NFL. Yeah, two NFL topics, right? Let's see. I gotta look, man. Yeah, I got two NFL topics. So let's talk a little Pro Bowl because I got some opinions on that. But let's talk about this stalemate with JT Realmuto, shall we? Now, there's been a lot of interesting vibes around this JT Realmuto sentiment. Now, what I want to do is you guys Cole Hamels. Okay. I want to play for you guys Cole Hamels, who was on for the Inquirer, Philadelphia Inquirer. And I want it's a minute and 17 seconds. You know, I like to play these things. So let's talk. Let's listen to what Cole Hamels has to talk about with JT Realmuto. And I want to see what you guys think, you know, based on what he said and what's going on right now with this situation. All right, here we go.
Most of the time you just look at what you can try to perceive as some sort of statistical value, and that's how they hit, how they receive. But there's something else that's really difficult to measure, and that's just his presence and confidence behind the plate in making a pitcher feel good to want to execute and to listen to a game plan, and then adjusting on the fly. And that's something that he's really shown over the last couple of years. I mean, he's been a tremendous receiver, but he throws guys out, and you can never count him out with his at bat. And you got to see that in the playoffs. He comes through in big moments. He's an incredible athlete, and I think that's what is the difference when you look at age. It's how athletic he is. He sets a bar that's a lot different. And then you have to look at what is available. And on the given market, there's not really much available that are comps to him. So he's kind of in the driver's seat. But at the same time, when you have a catcher that is really good and instills confidence in a pitching staff, both the starters and the relievers, you don't want to let those guys get away. And you can see that in all the greatest catchers in the history of the game is you don't let the good ones get away.
You don't let the good ones get away. That's Cole Hamels. Again, that was courtesy of the Inquirer Sports right there. Part of one of his interviews, they talked about JT. A couple things about that. I agree, right? He is, the biggest quote of that is when you have a catcher that is really good and instills confidence in a pitching staff, you don't want to let those guys get away. His value to the Phillies is immeasurable. I get it. I do. I completely get it. My issue, and again, my issue with this is I think JT, in my opinion, has to be realistic. And I think the Phillies have to be realistic, right? And I think they are being realistic. I think the Phillies may have dropped the ball a little bit and underestimated the intentions of JT and the agent. That's what I think. I think the Phillies thought that they were going to be able to come in and they did their due diligence. They figured, they looked around Major League Baseball. Who needs a catcher? Who's willing to go again? Who's willing to go above and beyond for JT? And I feel like they thought, no matter what, we're in driver's seat. We're good. We're going to give him a 2-year deal. We'll be happy, and everybody's going to be good. Guess what? That didn't happen. And even though it looks like nobody has offered him more than 2 years, because if they have, he probably would have signed there, or the Phillies may have tried to match. But it looks like this is just him and the agent sitting out and just hoping to get that third year. And then the interesting part is going to be when he comes back to the Phillies with a 3-year deal, do they match? And I do not think they should. And I do not think they will. You know, I was listening to Ruben Amaro Jr. And I tell you what, you guys know I'm very upfront and honest about who I listen to on the radio and who I don't. And I listen every Saturday. I have a lineup. You know, I do. I have a lineup in my Saturdays. And if I don't listen to them live, I listen to them on replay. I listen to Ruben and Devin Caney in the morning, first show. And then I listen to Rob Ellis, and Mike Silsky. And when I listened 2 weeks ago, or it was I think it might have been last week, and I was listening to Rube, and Rube talked about Chooch. And Ruben Amaro said, and these are the nuggets. I even tweeted it out. These are the nuggets. This is why I listen to certain people, because I think that they give valuable insight. They're not hot takey. They're not fabricated people. What they're doing is they have no narratives. What they're doing is just give you the information. And Ruben Amaro at that time talked about his dealings with Chooch. And he said that Chooch wanted the 3 years. And they went to 3 years. And Rube said, and ultimately it didn't work out. And if you go 3 years with a catcher that prides himself on playing all the time, who's already had a knee cleanup, I know he takes care of himself. But again, please, people, let's be honest here. Okay? Let's be honest. There's 2 people in the entire universe that are undefeated. It's Mother Nature and Father Time. And I don't give a shit how much vitamins you take. I don't care how much Pilates you do, how much yoga, it don't matter. At the end of the day, when your body says enough is enough, and Father Time says enough is enough, guess what? It's enough. Nothing you can do. You can't put your go-go gadget knees on and get in there and catch another 162. It's just not going to happen. So I look at this, and again, this is the Eagles. The Phillies need to be disciplined, and I think that they are. And I honestly, I'm going to tell you something right now. I think Dave Dombrowski in no way is going to go 3 years. I don't think he's going to go 3 years, and I think he knows it. And kudos to him. I know a lot of people get Dombro some shit. At the end of the day, I'm saying right now, I don't think they should go for 3. And I don't think he's going to go for 3. And right now, it's in the stalemate. And I'm going to tell you, man, there are other ways to do this. There are other ways to do this. Now, Adam says if JT doesn't come back, who is on the market for catchers? Honestly, I have no idea. But I will tell you this. Maybe people won't agree with this, and I really don't care. But me personally, I would take the money that you're going to pay JT Realmuto. And I get it. Immeasurable. He's great with the staff. I get all that. At the end of the day, he's not the reason why Christopher Sanchez turned into a Cy Young pitcher. He's not the reason why Aaron Nola took a shit. He's not the reason why Zach Wheeler became one of the best top 2-3 pitchers in Major League Baseball before the injury. Yes, he was able to call a game. I get it. But he doesn't affect velocity. He doesn't impact the amount of pitches that they learn. He doesn't do any of that. And I'm not trying to devalue him. But what I'm saying is I would take Rafael Marchand. And I would say, you know what, Rafi? Guess what? I don't need the bat. This is Chooch again. Remember, Rafael Marchand to me is Chooch. right? We never counted on Chooch's bat, right? If you look at some of the best catchers, you never counted a bat. When you talk about the best defensive catchers, okay? We're not talking about offense. You just never really counted on a bat. You just needed them to be defensive-minded catchers. I mean, God, Benito Santiago was one of those cats. Are you serious? He never was going to win a freaking batting title, right? At the end of the day, he wasn't. So I go Marshawn, and I take that money, and I go, you know what? You know what? I'm going to go after Bo Bichette. I'm going to go after Bo Bichette. Because now what is, like, think about this lineup, okay? Think about the lineup. What I'm going to do is I have the scenario in my head right now that I'm willing to let JT go. And I'm willing to ride with Marshawn. My man JD checking in and says, I got Stubbs to back up. I'm in, right? Because they're not, listen, all due respect to Cole Hamels. Like, JT Realmuto is not winning you a series with his bat. I know he says, oh, he comes up big, and he does have some big hits at times, but he goes hot and cold like the best of them, right? It's not like you're losing a 300 average hitter here, okay? 40 home runs. No, not doing it. So why pay JT when you can take Marshawn as a serviceable defensive backup who's got good pop-up rate to throw guys out? He's already shown that ability, right? He could swing a bat, and he's a switch hitter, okay, when needed, which is a big, valuable resource. And I'm going to go trade Bo, okay? I'm going to trade Bo. You say you're trade Bo, okay? And then guess what? Just move Trey Turner to third. Just move Trey Turner to third, right? Put Stott at short. And then guess what? Then you go get Bo Bichette. And then you put Bo Bichette at second base. You put his right-handed bat in the lineup, okay? And now that lineup gets an entire facelift. An entire facelift. Then I'm okay with signing Kyle Schwarber for a 5-year deal. Then I'm okay. I'm good. If you tell me that we can go out there and we can make this lineup work that way, I'm good. Think about how much better that lineup. You insert the speed, and by the way, insert the elite speed of Justin Crawford, okay, and also can swing a bat. I don't want to hear about ground balls and all this bullshit. Stop it. Just stop. Please stop. Everybody, you wanted him. Everybody wanted Justin Crawford. He's untouchable. But then when it's time to say, we're going to give Justin a shot. Oh, do you think he's ready? I'm not sure. Oh, God, these people they drive up my ass like nobody's business, man. Like, let it go. Pick a goddamn side, for Christ's sake. It's ridiculous. So I look at this and I say, now you got Crawford, you got Turner, you got Hart, you got Schwarbs, you got Adolis Garcia, power from the right-hand side. You got Bo Bichette, power from the right-hand side. Like, let's think about it. And then you still got Marsh and Kemp that are going to platoon. You still got Stott, okay, that's a fundamentally sound player. And then you got Marshawn. Like, I'm good. I like that. Like, let's think about it. What scenario is better? You tell me. That scenario or overpaying for JT, bringing him back, and having essentially the same freaking lineup with the only change you have in there that you came from the outside being Adolis Garcia. Sorry, I'm not in. So that's where I'm at with JT. Again, if you watch this on replay, okay, like a lot of people do, watch on replay, get in the comments. Let me know how you feel about, would you sign JT to a 3-year deal, or would you rather go out and get a Bo Bichette with that money? I'm curious because I know, on my opinion, that's the only way to go. So now we're going to swing into the top three, Tony's top three, where, again, I love to break it down on certain topics, lot of topics. We're going to talk about the Pro Bowl, right? Talk about the Pro Bowl. It'd be interesting to see who those top 5 guys are and what your opinion are. Talk about this guy over there in Jacksonville, that's revitalizing the whole Jaguar scene out there. Okay, which is ridiculous. And talk about a little past history when it comes to video games, right here on Tony's Top 3. And we're back for Tony's Top 3 right here. Again, as always, powered by Rise and React Media. If you're looking for a PR person, if you're looking for some marketing help or some consultation, look up riseandreactmedia.com today. And again, we will help you get squared away. First off on the top 3 today, let's talk a little legacy, will we? Let's talk a little legacy. And let's talk about Bo Jackson as a video game god. So ESPN did a 30 for 30 on video games and players within the video games. And Bo Jackson, okay, and I don't know how many people ever played or didn't play, okay, but I know I played. I was a huge video game guy back in the day. I loved video games all day long. Like that was my thing, man. Honestly, that was my thing. And, but on the ESPN 30 for 30, Bo Jackson's character in Tecmo Bowl is now considered the most dominant sports video game athlete in history. Now, if anybody ever played Nintendo and played Tecmo Bowl, and this is when Bo Jackson, obviously, when he was in his young days with the Oakland Raiders, right? He ran over everybody. He ran over everybody in that game. Like you never even had to throw a pass in that game, right? All you did, you could do the one running back set. You could do the I form. You could do the halfback toss. It didn't matter. Just give it to Bo. Just give it to Bo. Bo ran it in all day long. So, in my opinion, there's no doubt in my mind, because I look at all my video game history and I never remember a more dominant athlete within a video game than Bo Jackson. I don't remember it. Now, there was a time, if you guys remember, there was a game for Nintendo called Baseball Stars. And Baseball Stars, at that time, they had a team called the Angels. And that team consisted of a bunch of players that were like similar to guys like Willie McCovey and Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle. But they didn't have the license to use their names or their numbers. So they just had their ability, though. And Babe Ruth in that game hit a home run like every time. Baseball Stars. So if anybody played Baseball Stars, I would say the second most dominant player in all video game sports has to be Babe Ruth in Baseball Stars. But Bo Jackson in Tecmo Bowl, I'm telling you, man, it's just, there's not much more to say about it. It's just, if you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, you know. And if you still have, the ability to play Tecmo Bowl now, man, just go pick the Raiders. Just go pick Bo Jackson. And I swear to God, he runs through everybody and scores almost every single time. Give you like 200-something yards and multiple touchdowns, and nobody will be able to stop it. No matter, you could do a goal line defense, do whatever you want. You were not stopping Bo, man. You were not stopping Bo. So Bo Jackson voted on ESPN 30 for 30 for the most dominant sports video game athlete in history, man. So shout out to Bo, man. I'll tell you, man, he was on another level. Now let's talk about the Pro Bowl. Now the Pro Bowl, and again, this is going to get a little confrontational. Okay, it's okay. I want your opinion, but now the top 5 for Pro Bowl votes came out today. Top 5 players, most votes by a team, the votes for the specific players. And again, the top player for 2 years in a row, shocker, Travis Kelce, right? And we all know why Travis Kelce is considered And again, these are just fan voted in votes. Okay, they're the top 5 vote getters. Okay, from the fans. That's what that they vote, and they voted in Travis Kelce again. And why did they vote Travis Kelce in? Come on, man, right? We all know it's the Swifties, right? It's the Swifties. So he gets 420,000 votes, almost double of the second guy, which is Josh Allen, who gets 263,000 votes. And then the third leading vote getter, 3 quarterbacks on this list, is Drake May. We talked about him earlier. So I love to see Drake May getting the love. And how about the 2 Chicago Bears to round out the top 5? I'll be honest with you. Philadelphia, we have a lot of connection with the 5th guy, but the 4th guy is Caleb Williams. Right? So let's think about 2 quarterbacks in there with a different coach, right? New coach, new system, new quarterback. What happens? Boom. Right? I mean, the quarterback was there, right? But I'm just saying, you bring a new coach in, what happens, right? Amazing, right? So I shout out to Ben Johnson for the elevation of Caleb Williams. What about that 5th guy? How about Kevin Byard? Kevin Byard out there running safety with 203,000 fan votes out of the top 5 Pro Bowl vote getters. He came here, and we all thought in Philadelphia that he was done. We thought he was done. And he's out there in Chicago, man. He's balling out. So there was a lot of issues and a lot of questions about this. Like, should we rethink about, how these things are tallied and voted? And look, man, just let it go. Honestly, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, half these guys aren't even going to play in it anyway. It's kind of like an abnormality out there. It's just, whatever, right? Everybody gets weird and awkward. And, again, it doesn't matter to me, right? I let it go. I just think I think it's pretty interesting when you break it all down and you look at these top 5 guys, especially when you have the 3 quarterbacks in there, which again, we just talked about Drake May and what he's doing out there, in New England. Then Caleb Williams, who, I mean, that throw to beat Green Bay. Are you kidding me? Wow. That was impressive. That just, again, I know he's sporadic and, his completion percentage is not great at times, but man, this dude, Ben Johnson is bringing him the right way. He's bringing him out the right way. And at the end of the day, man, he has got a bright, bright future. Now let's finish up the top 3. Okay. Let's finish up the top 3 with the guy who is revitalizing Jacksonville and the guy who's doing something I didn't think could be possible. And that's making Trevor Lawrence into a viable quarterback that you can trust. Shocked. Absolutely shocked that Liam Coen, from his first days of being announced with that Duval, right, was so weird, right? Everybody already, I mean, it's almost like what happened in Philadelphia with Nick Sirianni's fumbling press conference was terrible, and everybody already painted a picture about him, right? So now you look at Liam Coen, and he's doing the same thing. I want you to play, like, I want you to listen to this. And this is, we talked about Mike Vrabel, okay? Mike Vrabel, right? We talked about him earlier. And now I want to talk about Liam Coen. I want you to, this is a 2-minute clip of him after they go out and smack Denver in the mouth. And I know there's a lot of stuff about Sean Payton saying it's a smaller market team. And listen, good for him. Never give a team bulletin board material. Even if Payton didn't mean it that way, they took it that way. And that just gave that extra fuel. And I'll tell you what, man, they kicked Denver in the mouth. And that was a statement win. So here's Liam Coen after that game on that statement win, just showing, just look at the enthusiasm and look at what's going on with this team. And you can tell why all things are good over there in Jacksonville. So here's Liam Coen after the win.
Hey, I'm so proud of you guys, man. I'm so proud of you. Again, how about our quarterback? Trips, unbelievable. Parker Washington, get up here! Dude, Darian Jones! And then being at your best when your best is required, punting it, pinning them at the 1 yard line. Hey, so proud of you. I love you guys. The job's not even completely, even close to being done. Ain't even close. Not even close. Okay, but that's one more, man. That's 11. That's 11. All right, but we just a small market team. Thank you for the play. We just a small market team. Guys, I'm so proud of you. I love you guys so much. Man, we're going to enjoy this flight back. Enjoy it, and let's get ready to roll on Wednesday, guys. Let's get ready to roll.
Hey, love you guys, man. Great job coming in here, getting a win against a really good team, but we're a good team. So, yes, we are. Two more. We got two more left. Every one of them's huge, man. Come back ready to work on Wednesday. Enjoy the next couple of days. Jags on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yo, man, if that doesn't get you fired up, right? If that doesn't get you fired up and show you how much they love playing for Liam Coen and how much he loves doing what he does, I'll tell you, man, the new, I am such a fan of the new energy of coaches this year in the NFL. I really am. And not just this year, but over the past 4 or 5 years. Just, the McVays and the LaFleurs, the Ben Johnsons, the Liam Coens. How about shout out Kellen Moore for what he's been able to do? It looks like he even found himself a quarterback. He switched quarterbacks, got a lot of heat for it. And he's developed a system out there, man. Like these guys, I tell you what, this was never seemed to be possible before. But now these guys are coming in and they're winning right away. They're winning they're winning. It's got tongue tied. They're winning right away. And that's important, man. That's important. I love every minute of it. I love it. I love watching that. I really, really do. That's going to wrap up the top 3. Again, Tony Cutillo Show right here. This is the live reaction show. We also have the Tony Cutillo Show podcast, the video cast, which we had 2 great episodes of, which we got a 3rd coming. It's holiday time, so I kind of took a break from doing the pods after the holidays, just getting everybody together. But I got Coach Dave coming back on for a really good episode. I can't wait for that. Got a couple other people, some familiar faces that you may know about coming here live to the studio, which I'm very excited about. Got my girl Carm, Hoots with Carm. If anybody doesn't follow Hoots with Carm, you need to follow her today. Okay, you need to follow her like ASAP because she is absolutely freaking amazing at what she does. We're gonna talk some NBA dunk contests. We're gonna go back in time because on the video cast is where we talk about different topics with no timestamps, right? They're all topics that we want to go back and look at. And we talked about the infamous Philly losses, right? What's the biggest, most crushing Philly loss, right? We talked about the steroid era, right? So we're going to be talking about Bo Jackson. We're going to talk about, how gifted of an athlete he was and go back and look at that. We're going to talk about the dunk contest. What if the dunk contest never went away? Right? Think about it. If it never went away, it continued to be fueled and fueled and fueled. So, we're going to talk about that with, we're going to have Carm on. We'll talk about that. So got a lot of great things ahead, man. Got a lot of great things ahead. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel as always. And I just want to give a quick shout out to anybody, big, small, I don't care, that's doing this YouTube thing. And I'm going to take 2 seconds and just explain to everybody that this shit ain't easy, bro. I don't care what anybody says. Like, I ain't got nobody helping me. Okay. Everything you see is me. The pre-production, the post-production, the overlays, the clips, the promos, the thumbnails, the YouTube descriptions, that's all me. I'm not saying that to get a cookie here. What I'm saying is what I do here is what other people are doing on their own show. And it's a lot of friggin' work. I love it, right? I love it, but it's a lot of work. So I just want to give a hats off to anybody who's doing it, because guess what? A lot of people are starting to step out of their comfort zones. A lot of people are doing video when maybe they're not comfortable with video, but they just know that it's needed in order to be. It's a very competitive, digital platform that everybody wants to get some time on there. So they're doing a video thing, even if they're not comfortable with it. So shout out to you. And I will just say this: something I learned, and I still work on today. And a lot of that is, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I've said this before, and I continue to say it. It's very hard for me personally to just hop on a microphone and just talk. I want things a certain way, and it'll probably be the detriment of me. At the end of the day, I'm probably my own worst enemy at that, because you'll hear people say, just go. I just can't. I just can't. I need to have things mapped out. I need to have things made. It's just who I am, right? So I just want to give mad respect to anybody. I don't care if you got 2 followers. I don't care if you have 1 million followers. Honestly, it doesn't matter, because it's all work. It's not grabbing a microphone and just talking. There's a lot of work behind this, right? There's a lot of work behind this. And some days it's a struggle. Some days it is. Some days it's a struggle. So anybody who's consistently dropping content like this, live shows, post shows, recorded show, whatever it is, man, shout out to you, man, for real. Especially if you're doing it on your own. If you don't have a producer, if you don't have an intern, if you're doing everything on your own, man, I got to say, again, shout out. My man JD checking in, says Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and your family, Jigsaw. Hey, JD, man, yo, all love, bro. You know that. Definitely. For sure, man. For sure. Absolutely. And everybody can see JD's special gift for me in the background right there is that Whitey and Harry bobblehead. Okay. So I got to give my man JD a shout out to that, because he was like, I want you to, I had this. I want to give this to you, man. So he gave us to me, and we'll make sure we put that on blast every time we do a pod. So for everybody, and Mike, you're right. Everything has to be on point, precise. And it ain't friggin' easy, bro. And it ain't friggin' easy. Okay. Let's just say it ain't friggin' easy. All right. So, the way that you can show the support, like I always say, man, is you just like and subscribe to the channel. Very, very simple. Like and subscribe to the channel, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't want to be on Facebook. I just want to be on YouTube, man. That's all. I just want to be on YouTube. Okay. I'll promo the other sites, but YouTube is where I want to live. Okay. YouTube is where I want to live. Although, like I said, man, listen, if God willing, if there's a radio spot that comes to me one day, again, on Sirius or on another network, I'm definitely going to have to think about it and probably want to jump in, because that's what I love to do. I ain't looking for no full-time thing, man. I never was, and I never will. It's too volatile injury, man. Too volatile of an industry out there. I couldn't be picking up and going, and that's bad respect to people that do that. I'm not willing to do that. I'm going to be honest. I'm not. What I want to do is I want to sit here, right? I want to sit here and I want to talk to the audience, right? I have the professional equipment. I have the setup, and I have the ability to do it. So if that happens one day, it does. But in the meantime, this is where I'll be. And shout out to everybody doing your own thing, man. You are great. You are kicking ass, and you are doing a fantastic job. So everybody, like, subscribe. Happy New Year. Well, Merry Christmas first. Happy New Year. I'll probably be on again before Christmas. We'll see. And then after Christmas for the New Year. But just in case I don't see you or talk to you then, man, shout out to everybody. Much love. Thanks for the support. Everybody have a fantastic holiday. And again, wherever you're watching, if you're on the Heat Ratio Sports channel, watch this, jump over to Tony Cutillo Show and make sure you like and subscribe and get all the content over there. Adam, saying to you, buddy, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Everybody have a fantastic evening. And again, we'll catch you back here next time.